Human Rights Month here in South Africa, the entire month, I suppose, dedicated to this day that is Human Rights Day. And it's a day that's commemorated as much as we look to the amount of milestones that have been achieved through the history of South Africa. It's still very, very difficult to look into society and see that so much still needs to be done in terms of serving the human rights of South Africa. And that's exactly what a day like today is all about. We look back to that time on the 21st of March 1960 when the Sharpeville Massacre happened. I've got the minister with me right now who we've managed to grab for an interview, Mthethwa, the Minister of Arts and Culture, who was just participating in a wreath-laying ceremony. Minister, thank you for talking to us. It's good to see you. But on an occasion such as this, it's always, I suppose it always pulls at the heartstrings, doesn't it? It's a very emotional time for South Africans.
Absolutely. It's time to reflect where we come from, but also recommit ourselves, because this place, Sharpeville, is the cradle of human rights. If you want to understand the depth of human rights violations in South Africa during apartheid period, this is the place, and this is where many people paid the ultimate price for simple asking for their rights as humans in this country. So it's not by mistake that we themed this commemoration this year as the promotion and deepening of a human rights culture across society. Because that's what we should do. That's what, since 1994, our democracy is about. It's a human rights at the core of the struggle against apartheid.
Indeed. And I mean, this year also being dedicated to Nelson Mandela, the year of Nelson Mandela, promoting and deepening a human rights culture across South Africa and across society. You know, we've seen a very unfortunate incident happening with a young boy losing his life in a pit latrine in this day and age, in 2018. I mean, that again is a senseless loss of life. When it comes to serving the human rights of South Africans, it still appears as though we're losing the battle, Minister. How much more needs to be done?
Well, I don't think so. I do think that there would be pitfalls. And we understood right from the beginning that you need more than public representatives. You need institutions supporting democracy. The Human Rights Commission, for instance, is one such body, and there are many others who have to do these checks and balances in our democracy. Because you go around the world, there hasn't been any smooth democracy. But what becomes important is putting those processes in place and structures in place, which will ensure that if there is a blind eye, they are always ahead of the curve and be able to take those who have been given responsibility to lead society to task. So it's a tragedy, what you are talking about. It's a tragedy generally that even in this time and age, you are still talking about people who are discriminating others based on their ethnicity, based on their race, and so on and so forth. Yeah. But the battle is on, because our democracy, whilst it's a nascent democracy, but it is resilient. We will be able to move, as we have moved since 1994, because we have moved, but not enough to say that we're comfortable that that which those of our martyrs fought and died for is achieved.
Minister, I can't but help notice your tie. Men choose ties for very different reasons, but I have a very sneaking suspicion you chose this tie for a very good reason today. It's a dove carrying a flower, which basically is all about peace.
And it's human rights, it's freedom.
And it's something that South Africa seems to be grappling with right now. We need a peaceful a peaceful feeling amongst South Africans and something to pull us all together. And I don't know, it's made my morning seeing this, I have to say. Is that what's going through your heart right now?
Well, we really need peace. We need peace. We need, the struggle against colonialism and apartheid was a peaceful one. Was so that at the end of the day, people enjoy their freedom, both as individuals and as a nation. So what is in my mind today is that one day we'll all feel like doves, soaring our nation as a free people in the true sense of the word, because as long as economic justice is not achieved in our society, we still have a way to cover, some route to cover.
Finally, Minister, the Deputy President is giving the keynote address today. I know that you're going to welcome him here shortly.
Absolutely, and it's going to be his first such appearance. You would know that he started with his debut Q&A yesterday in Parliament. So today he will be addressing the nation on this very important day. In fact, the President did express that he would have wanted to be here on this day, but due to government business and his international obligation, we're not with him here today.
Minister, thank you very much for your time. I know that you've got a busy schedule, but we appreciate you talking to us. This is our Minister of Arts and Culture. Thank you. Have a fantastic day, Minister. Thank you very, very much for talking to us. You can hear the chorus of music behind me as many of the family members in the community line this row where you'll see all of the tombstones of the victims from the Sharpeville Massacre lined up here. And it really is a very, very moving ceremony that's taking place here as everybody is now making their way to the memorial, and then they will go over to the sports stadium where the main event will take place. But we'll join you again in the next hour. Let's take a break.